legend is retiring. A legend is leaving the Las Vegas Raiders. That doesn't sound right, does it? A legend is retiring a Dallas Cowboy. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys, where Jason Witten, having gone through, at age 38, a not particularly fruitful season in Las Vegas. Not in terms, anyway, of putting up big numbers. On Wednesday says, I'm hanging them up. And it gives us a chance to reflect on the Jason Witten that you might not know. If you're a Cowboy fan, you know the iconic Witten. You know the headless horseman. You know the 13,000 receiving yards. Only 2 tight ends have ever done that. This year did allow that to happen. You know Jason Witten, the John Wayne of the Cowboys. That's Jerry Jones's comparison. I will tell you something that not everybody is aware of. I've said this to Witten, and we laughed about it. But I also said it to Jerry. I said, you know, John Wayne's not real. He goes, what do you mean, Mr. Mack? There is no John Wayne. That's not even his name. He was a surfer dude, as much as anything else. He wasn't a cowboy. They just made it up. He wasn't a Green Beret. It was just a movie. He didn't drive a wagon train across the Great West. That was just a movie. It was John Ford's idea. And John Wayne just did what he was told, including change his name. That's why we can talk about here, for the distinguished Cowboy fan and Fish Report follower, the 3 faces of Jason Witten. Austin Hooper allowed a little bit of a glance into this not too long ago. For some reason, it was apropos of nothing. I don't know why Austin Hooper decided to reach out as a member of the Cleveland Browns and announce this, but he said, yeah, I don't really like the whole Jason Witten deal. What? What are you talking about? What Jason Witten deal? He said, where it's me versus everyone else in the tight end room. Oh, that Jason Witten deal. That is one of the faces of Jason Witten. You can understand it if you'll recognize it. Of all the NFL players who talk trash, in games where the stakes are the highest, I don't know that very often guys roll their eyes at that or are offended by that, or I go, what? What's he doing? It's a game. It's the highest intensity thing. Witten did that in practice to everybody and destroyed them with his wit, for one thing, with his toughness, certainly, and his talent. But I'm talking about this. I don't think people realize that. Witten's competitiveness, which is greatest strength, as Michael Irvin likes to say, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. And Jason Witten's greatest strength was his competitive nature. How else do you do this for 18 years with a little break in between to do some ESPN broadcasting that didn't quite go the way everybody wanted it to? In the NFL, it's a fraternity. Austin Hooper's not lying. He knows what he's talking about. He knows exactly what he's saying. The tight ends are a fraternity. Word gets around. Witten cast a large shadow over tight ends in the league. Even moving to the Raiders and fairly anonymous existence there. In Las Vegas, he's not the starting tight end. Honestly, especially, this past year, he shouldn't have played as much as he did. In fact, I'll go back to his last year in Dallas. There was people inside this building that thought, I love Witt, and great respect for Witt, but he's holding back the kids. And, you've got a glimpse of Blake Jarwin, and you see what they're talking about. Now you've gotten a glimpse from Dalton Schultz, and you wonder if Jason Witten didn't bottleneck them too. Because he wasn't going to come back here. Not that he wasn't helpful. There's a legion of tight ends and teammates that swear by him. But he didn't want to help you more than he wanted to beat you. And if he had to tear you apart so he could win that snap in practice, he did so relentlessly. I have benefited greatly from one-on-one time with Jason Witten. He's taught me a lot. I've learned a lot. He talked in this retirement release with Bristol about how he plans to give back to the game and teach the next generation. That means he wants to be a coach, and that's good. He's something he's wanted for a long time. As long as he doesn't go glory boy on it. But I do feel I'm qualified to address the three faces of Jason Witten. Face number one is the generous icon. This is the Witten who won NFL Man of the Year for his charitable work, who dotes on his wife and his children, who Cowboy players thought of as a big brother, for the most part, and who other tight ends think of the same way. And again, for every one Austin Hooper, I think there's 10 Zach Ertzes who want to grow up to be Jason Witten. Jerry Jones, great quote. He says it all the time. He'll say it here soon. I'm away from my email right now, but there will be an email pretty soon. I guarantee you, in my inbox, statement from Jerry Jones on the retirement of Jason Witten, and he will say in that thing, he might not say the John Wayne line. I might have talked him out of that one. But he'll say the other one. Jason Witten is one of the 5 finest people I've ever met. And then he'll go, not in football. Ever. In anything. That's saying something. Because Jerry Jones has met them all. That face of Jason Witten is the Witten who Jones compares to John Wayne. Face number 2 is the actual human being. Again, John Wayne's real first name was Marion. he even had a lady's first name. He didn't win the Civil War, he didn't win World War II, and he didn't win Vietnam. Even though in the movie, he won Vietnam. That tells you how fake it all was. Witten, like every other icon, is flawed. He's human. And the elevation of him as a symbol, which is an act that we performed, it's kind of our fault, tends to hide any warts. And we want heroes. So we hide the warts. But Austin Hooper is obviously aware of one of the warts. So is Marty B, aware of some Jason Witten warts. But that's okay, because ultimately, face number 3 of Jason Witten is why he did what he could to help his team win. And the Cowboys never quite did it enough, but what they did do was in large part because of Jason Witten's presence, talent, leadership, competitiveness. So Hooper was asked about coexisting with his tight end teammate, David Njoku. That's what happened. When the two of them were on the same team, he was asked about, hey, how does it work with 2 tight ends? And that's when he brought up Witten. I'm not going to be like that. And that's Jason Witten, the competitive jerk. If you know Jason Witten, you understand the reference. The reason that we're doing this in this format is I'm telling you something that people do not know. Fans do not know this. Some media people do not know this, but you know this in the locker room. Jason Witten is a competitive jerk. And I mean that in the nicest way. I don't think Jason Witten gave 1 second thought, 1 second's worth of thought to, Blake Jarwin, he's better than me now. I'm 37. He's better than me. I think I'll step aside. Not once. I don't think he went to Garrett one time and said, why don't you take me out and put Blake Jarwin in? It's 3rd and 11. Blake Jarwin's way more capable than I am of getting 11 yards. I bet you that didn't occur to him once. Which is awesome. But it's that third face, competitive jerk. Quote from Sean Lee, when we were talking about this a little while back. Hall of Famer on the field, Hall of Famer off the field, and a Hall of Fame trash talker. He's going to challenge you every way possible. He would, at training camp, yell, he'd beat a safety, and he'd turn to the coaching staff and get this guy off the field. Some rookie third-string safety, he's just out there trying to survive. Get this piece of bleep off the field. He can't play. I don't know if that was helping the Cowboys or not, but it would help Jason Witten. I don't think it helped the safety very much. It helped Jason Witten, and that mattered. I do think that Witten as a team leader, and I said this before, in that locker room to those people, I thought it was weird that Witten, Romo, Garrett, DeMarco Murray, and Miles Austin got to be a club. That part of that Terrell Owens angle, that Terrell Owens criticism is true. They had a club. And if you weren't in the club, you weren't in the club. And the coach was in the club. The idea that Witten and Romo and the head coach would go off to North Carolina to go have a guys' weekend together and watch basketball is absurd. It crossed the line. It's why Marty B said what he said and thought what he thought. Now, Marty B has since softened on Witten. Good for him. Remember when Michael Bennett signed here, Marty B said, yeah, don't go there. You should go there. That'll work. And it'll be fine. It'll be fine with Jason Witten. Because it's a first-class organization, it's a first-class franchise, it's a first-class building, all that. And Jason Witten is a first-class Hall of Fame, competitive leader and jerk in a great way. Happy retirement to Jason Witten. I don't know where he's going to coach, but he will. We'll monitor that. And then we'll keep our eye out, not just for the one thing that Jason Witten does. We'll keep our eye out for the three faces of Jason Witten. Fish.